is the end of May 2019 and Scotland is once again all yellow, but in two different ways. Let me explain in today's video. And if you're new, you're going to want to hit the subscribe button. Good to have you on board. Wow. The fields here have exploded. This is rapeseed, which gets turned mostly into oil. I think it had been out of fashion for a very long time as being unhealthy, but somehow that's went full circle now, and they've made these fancy rapeseed oil bottles, cold pressed. I don't even know what that means, but apparently it's healthy again. So the values went up. A lot of companies are selling it in posh bottles and making a lot of money off it. So basically all the fields here in East Lothian, in this part of Scotland, close to Edinburgh, are this shade of yellow right now, which is very, very beautiful. Great to see it this time of year, but it does not last very long. It stays like this for literally a couple of weeks, and you can actually walk down through the tracks here. This is where the tractor has went along these roads here, and it's almost the height of me. It's literally probably only about a foot or two shorter than I am. So it's quite interesting to walk through this sea of yellow. Anyway, since I'm here, I'm thinking this could be kind of like an ideal spot, and to see what this sea of yellow actually looks like from the air. There's actually up there behind me, somewhere just above the yellow there, you can't see, a wee tower in the distance, which is literally marooned amid this sea of yellow. Anyway, what a beautiful day here in East Lothian, what a beautiful setting. These farm fields are bright, dazzling yellow, luminescent. And for the second type of yellow, the yellow that you can see right here on this map, contrasting sharply with the dark blues you see in the rest of the UK. This is a yellow that's been pretty consistent in Scotland over the last few years, and this is a yellow that represents something quite political. I don't really talk about politics right here on my channel, but a lot of people have sent in this question about this map and what it means, and what happened with the recent elections and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do this video to explain it a little bit, but without giving my views necessarily. So what does the map show? Like I said, it is a political map, and it shows the results of the recent UK European elections that we just had. And as you can see, there is a stark contrast between Scotland and the rest of the UK. In Scotland, the yellow represents the SNP, the Scottish National Party. This EU election was one that was never supposed to happen. The issue of Brexit, according to the Conservative government, timetable in Westminster was already supposed to be completed. We were supposed to be out by now, in which case we would not have been voting in these EU elections. But alas, that did not happen, and the new timetable to Brexit is currently the 31st of October 2019. And this means that we had to take part in these European elections to elect MEPs that would go and represent our constituencies in Brussels. And what we can see is Scotland voted very different from the rest of the UK, highlighting what a big problem that we do actually have here, and potentially even a constitutional crisis. In the rest of the UK, except Northern Ireland, the party, a brand new party founded by Nigel Farage called the Brexit Party, won the vast majority of seats, and that's what got all the headlines. And largely ignored by mainstream media, you can see in Scotland it was a very different story for us north of the border. Because we, as we have done for a number of years, vote differently from the rest of the UK on a number of issues, Europe being one of them. The SNP, for example, who won the highest share of votes in Scotland, is the Scottish Independence backing party. But they're also the party that backs Scotland remaining an EU member. And it's worth remembering Scotland is a pro-EU country, a very pro-EU country, with 62% of the Scottish population voting to remain as an EU member in the referendum we had on that issue. And during this European vote that we just had, it shows that Scotland's position has not really changed on that question. The SNP, alongside the other pro-EU parties in Scotland, won the vast majority of votes. 38% of that vote went to the SNP itself, which is the highest vote percentage of any party within the UK in any region, and is also the highest vote share of any party in Western Europe. And that is why this map is so clearly divided and Scotland is all yellow. Scotland remains a pro-EU country in terms of how it votes. It's not really clear what the vote means in terms of Scottish independence, other than the fact the SNP still gets a very large percentage of the vote in Scotland. But nonetheless, I wanted to answer this quick question because I've been getting it a lot over the last few days. Hopefully that clears things up a little bit. Scotland is yellow because of that. But listen, let me take you back to the beautiful rapeseed fields for the other yellow.
really, really smell the pollen here as well from these rapeseed flowers. So I think anybody who suffers from hay fever in spring and summer would not get on well where I'm standing right now. Unfortunately, I don't suffer hay fever, so it's all good. Anyway, hope you enjoyed those images. It was just spectacular.